There's a specific kind of money that never clocks out. It doesn't take weekends off, doesn't call in sick, and it definitely doesn't care that you're asleep. Somewhere out there, right now, quiet little businesses are ringing up sales while their owners are face down in a pillow, doing absolutely nothing. And no, this isn't some crypto scheme or app that promises to make you rich by Tuesday. It's the opposite. It's boring, painfully, unglamorously boring. And that boredom is exactly the point. My name is Martin, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, wealth, and why some people build income streams that just keep running while others chase the next shiny opportunity and end up with nothing but a closet full of unused equipment. Here's what I've noticed after years of looking at this stuff. The businesses that actually build lasting wealth are almost never the ones people talk about at parties. Nobody brags about owning vending machines. Nobody posts a highlight reel about a coin laundromat. But quietly, consistently, those unglamorous operations are paying off mortgages, funding retirements, and doing it without needing constant attention. So today, I want to walk you through 5 of these businesses. Not hype, not trends, just steady mechanisms that keep generating income long after the initial work is done. Let's start by clearing up a myth, because it's holding a lot of people back. The myth is that passive income has to be exciting to be worthwhile. Social media pushes this idea constantly. Flip real estate in 6 months, launch an app that goes viral, trade your way to freedom. And look, those things can work for a small number of people, but they usually require constant monitoring, constant risk, and a lot of luck lining up at the right time. The businesses that actually run themselves tend to look nothing like that. They're slow, they're steady, they involve things like machines, storage space, or property, things that keep functioning whether you're watching them or not. The lack of excitement isn't a flaw, it's the entire mechanism. A business that needs your constant attention to survive was never really passive to begin with. True passive income comes from systems, not from your personal hustle plugged into a slightly different outlet. Now let's get into the first 2. The first is vending machines. On the surface, it sounds almost too simple to matter. A machine, a product, a location. But the reason it works is structural. Once a machine is placed somewhere with steady foot traffic, it sells the same handful of items over and over without a single ounce of persuasion from you. No sales pitch, no marketing campaign, no customer service call. People walk by, they're hungry or thirsty, they buy. The only real work happens in restocking and occasional maintenance, and even that can be handled by someone else once the operation grows past a machine or 2. The income isn't glamorous, but it's remarkably consistent because human habits like hunger and convenience don't really change with the economy. The second is coin laundromats. This one works for a similar reason. People need clean clothes regardless of what's happening in the stock market or the news cycle. A laundromat isn't chasing trends. It's meeting a need that never really goes away. Once the machines are installed and the space is set up, the daily operation runs almost entirely on its own. Customers come in, use the machines, and leave. There's no upsell, no convincing required. The business essentially becomes a landlord relationship with appliances instead of tenants, and the income shows up in steady, predictable cycles rather than dramatic spikes. What both of these have in common is that neither depends on you being brilliant or constantly present. They depend on routine human behavior, and routine behavior almost never stops. That's 2 down. But the next 2 work through a slightly different mechanism, one that involves something people already own, but rarely think to monetize. The third is self-storage units. People accumulate stuff. That's just a fact of modern life. And when life changes, moving, downsizing, a messy divorce, an inherited house full of furniture nobody wants to deal with yet, People need somewhere to put things without thinking too hard about it. That's the entire business model. You're not selling a product. You're selling space and convenience. And once a facility is built or bought, the ongoing work is mostly limited to occasional maintenance and filling vacancies. There's no daily transaction to manage, no inventory to restock, no customer service drama. A tenant pays monthly, the door stays locked, and the income shows up whether or not you thought about the business that day. It's one of the few models where the product basically maintains itself. The fourth is car washes, specifically the automated kind. This one surprises people because it sounds like it should require constant attention. But modern automated car washes run almost entirely on their own once they're set up. Customers pull in, pay through a machine or an app, and the entire wash cycle runs without a single employee needed for most transactions. The appeal isn't excitement, it's habit. People wash their cars regularly, rain or shine, good economy or bad, because a dirty car bothers people in a way that quietly nags at them until they fix it. The reliable, low-effort human behavior is exactly what makes the income steady month after month. Notice the pattern building here. None of these four businesses depend on your personality, your charm, or your ability to hustle harder than the next person. They depend on things people need regardless of circumstances. Snacks, clean clothes, extra space, a clean car. Boring needs that never really go away, which is exactly why the income from meeting them doesn't go away either. Now here's the fifth one, and honestly, it might be the most interesting because it works a little differently than the rest. Laundromats and vending machines earn from repeat daily habits. Storage and car washes earn from ongoing convenience. But the fifth model, coin-operated or shared equipment rentals, things like car wash vacuum stations, arcade or claim machines placed inside other businesses, or even simple equipment rented out to other companies, earns through partnership. You're not running the whole operation. You're plugging your asset into someone else's existing foot traffic. A machine sits inside another business, customers use it, and the income splits between you and the location owner. It's passive squared, because you're not even managing the space. Someone else is already doing that for their own reasons, and your equipment just quietly rides along, generating income in the background. So there you are, 5 boring businesses, vending machines that sell to routine, laundromats that meet a need nobody skips, storage units that rent out space nobody's using, car washes that run on habit, and shared equipment that earns off someone else's traffic. None of them are exciting. None of them will impress anyone at a dinner party. And that's exactly the point, because excitement and reliability rarely show up in the same business at the same time. Remember that money that never clocks out, the one working while you're asleep. That's not a fantasy. It's just the natural result of owning something that meets a need people have, whether they think about it or not. The businesses that build real, lasting wealth were never the flashy ones. They were the quiet, unglamorous machines running in the background night after night, while their owners did absolutely nothing but rest. So maybe the real question isn't which trendy opportunity to chase next. Maybe it's this: what boring, overlooked need is sitting right in front of you, waiting for someone patient enough to meet it consistently? If this gave you a new way to think about building income that doesn't need your constant attention, hit that like button and subscribe for more honest, no-hype conversations about money. See you in the next one.